Hello, welcome to today's project update. Kind of a halfway point, almost between 8 and 9, so I called it 8.5. Here's what's going on. Last time I went to Bolt Action Gaming, turned out a friend of mine had a package for me. Didn't realize that. Got there, and there he had a bunch of plastic soldiers, just basically one of the British Army boxes, partially used, that I guess he had gotten from somewhere. And he doesn't like plastic, so he knows I do. So he gave it to me, and there's 14 guys in there. I thought, this is great. So this actually allowed me to build, essentially finish off, expand the 8th Rifles platoon, so I can actually field it as a separate platoon from the Dragoons. So I now don't have to actually mix the models to get 800 point army. So anyway, what I decided to do was to build a couple snipers, one for each, or sniper teams, one for each of the platoons. So let's take a closer look here. So right there we've got, in front we got the 8th Rifles, and behind them the 10th Dragoons, the sniper to the left and the spotter on the right. In front is the 8th Rifles lieutenant carrying a Thompson submachine gun. Now, by the time the poles were deployed, the Sten had replaced the Thompson. However, there are anecdotes and actual evidence, from actual soldiers' journals and what have you, that some of them tried to make sure there was a way to keep their Thompsons, because they did like them better than the Sten, even though the Sten was cheaper and the ammunition was going to be widely available. So a few of them still had Thompsons. There's no way of knowing if there was an actual lieutenant in the 8th Rifles that had a Thompson, but I figure, you know what, it looks cool. He'll stand out. Behind, or next to him, is a Bren gunner for the 8th Rifles. Then the first of 2 NCOs with Sten gun. The Bren gun's loader. And then there's the second Sten gunner. In the back of Dragoons, they got 4 different Lee Enfield riflemen, as well as the platoon's first sergeant right there with the Sten gun. Now these have been base coated and washed, but that's as far as they've gotten. Okay, so next I want to kind of show you what exactly the difference is right now as far as the stages. These are essentially ready for the tabletop, but they're not complete. I still have all the detailing to do, but I wanted to kind of show you, what's what as far as the differences. So we'll just use these two who are kneeling. The only difference really is the helmet between the 8th Rifles and the Dragoons, is the helmet and backpack. So let's just take a close look at how completeness, or the difference between, there we go. Alright, this is part of my 8th Rifles. He's been serving as my spotter, artillery spotter, and for the last couple weeks. Anyway, he is completed, detailed and everything. This is a 10th Dragoon. He is actually just base coated and washed. And you can see the differences as far as the highlights go. Now, being this is an officer, he does have brown boots. So that's one difference between the two. But if you look at the detail level and the coloration between the khakis on the 2 shoulders, okay, you can see this stands out a little more at the top. This is more even. That's the effect again of brush coating. They're just highlighting it, just the very top edges, to reinforce the effect of the light. Let's look on the back of both. Now they both have entrenching tools, and one has a backpack. So you can see the details on here. They stand out a lot better because they've actually been picked out. And you can see the highlighting effect behind them. On the sleeves, you can see the variation in the shades and the colors, and even the ground in grass stains, whereas here there's nothing. over slightly. Now both of them have holstered pistols and the canteens. Okay, you can see this one has a lot more variation in the shade than this, which is just base coated and washed. The canteen, this has a richer color, in my opinion, and the webbing stands out a little more as far as the color. It looks more worn than the way this one is right now. So of course it has the black cap. But again, here you can see the shading variations in the sleeve compared to over here, and in the actual leg itself. So that's the difference between the washed model right here and the completed model here, which has all the highlighting and detail painting done. Now I want to do one more thing and show off the effect on the hat, the actual helmets. Okay, let's do this. All right, you can see the helmets are both have the Hessian strips, and you can see this one seems a lot more detailed than this, and that's just simply the effect of the extra layers of the highlighting after the wash that goes on. So there's a lot more definition in this guy's helmet than this one, even though they're very, very similar. Okay, so I just want to kind of figure I'd show you guys the difference so that you can kind of tell, and actually you can see the difference in the backpacks as far as the color variation, the shading on here compared to here. Alright, so anyway, that's the update, kind of an 8.5 if you will. Now these guys are going to be joining my infantry this week because they are ready for the tabletop. Now I do have the tanks base coated. Those are obviously for the actual Polish army, not the British Polish First Armored Division. But I figured I'd go ahead and prime them and at least do the dark sand base coat. And now I'm going to have to do airbrushing to actually do the camouflage pattern. And I'll have a separate video where I review moving this turret over, because I did mention I was going to move that turret from the right side of the tank to the left. Alright, so thanks for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.